There are many laws by which we have to abide, and some of them have to do with things that you do in agriculture. One of those laws says the following, that if you're in the field and you are harvesting and suddenly a bundle of wheat or something falls off your truck or your carriage, whatever it is, and when you come home, you start counting what you collected and you realize that you left one behind. The law is you have to leave it there. That is called shikha. Shikha comes from the Hebrew forgotten. You forgot to pick something up. It fell and you didn't pick it up. Leave it for whom? Leave it for the poor. Because they're poor people that go through the fields looking specifically for these things, for things that fell off that they can use because they don't have enough to live by, and they are helped that way. There's a great discussion in the Talmud whether you have to have the right intention when you do a good deed. For instance, if you're going to pray, must you think about the meaning of the prayer? Must you think about the fact that you are communicating with God? You can simply say the words and that's it. Obviously, if you just recite words, you might just as well read the dictionary. You're not doing anything. The important thing when you try to communicate with God is your intent. You recognize Him as God. You put some feeling into the prayers that you are reciting. Even if you don't understand every word, you must be conscious that you're standing before God. On the other hand, if a poor man extends his hand and you give him something, and you have no intention really, you just want to get rid of the guy. You give him $10, get out of my way. Have you done anything good? Well, one can argue maybe you're not the beneficiary of everything that you did, but the poor man received something. You certainly solved something for him. He'll be able to buy maybe a sandwich for the money that you gave him, and he's hungry. So you've done a good deed. And this is the discussion in the Talmud. Do good deeds need intention or don't need intention? There is no easy resolution, because sometimes, as I say, the poor man will receive it. Maybe you, the donor, did not get as much benefit by doing the good deed, because had you had the right intention, it would have also reflected more upon you. You would have become a better person thereby also. But in the law that I mentioned to begin with, when you forget a bundle of wheat or whatever it is in the field, you certainly had no intention, because the whole idea is that you forgot something. You did something inadvertently. You don't know what you did really. So we see there a very important lesson. Sometimes without intention, we can do good things. Sometimes when you smile to a person, maybe you're doing something very positive for him. You have no intention, just smiled. And yet he fell down, and suddenly he sees somebody smiling at him, and he feels good about it. You give somebody the $10, you also ask him, how are you? How are you feeling? You know, you're doing a great thing by that, because you're relating to the recipient, not only as a poor man, as another individual. He feels that he's somebody because you're talking to him. My point is that even without intention, what we do can have an effect on other people. I remember when I was a student many decades ago in Lima, Peru, we had a teacher of universal history in high school called Media in Peru. His name to this day I remember, Abarca, El Doctor Abarca. He was always impeccably dressed. He walked with a sure foot. When he came into class, everybody stood up. Nobody dared talk while he was there speaking. You could ask a question, but you certainly wouldn't converse. You wouldn't talk to somebody sitting next to you, because his look was authority. I said he taught universal history. Do I remember any of his classes? Not one bit. But I remember him. I remember his posture, and his posture left a mark upon me. So it's not only your ideas, it's not only the things that you express. Many a time, it's the way you walk. Your children, your little children probably think you're God. Whatever you do is the right thing. Remember, the way you behave at home leaves a lasting impression upon minds that are very receptive to everything around them. Many a time, maybe a flower or something, a word that you say without much intention to your wife, to your spouse, has a tremendous effect. Maybe the way you react when you're among friends, the way you react when adversity comes by, the way you react with ire or with a smile, that has a tremendous impression upon other feelings, upon other people. So it is not only your intention. Many a time without intention, we teach many things in this world. So you have to be very careful with what you do, because leaders surely teach by example, but each and every one of us has a certain amount of leadership in our group of friends, in our family, among our associates at work. Everybody looks upon each other. Remember that whatever you do has an effect on everybody else that is around you.